Yes, I am inside the Azure portal. So yesterday I've deleted everything just to save the cost. Let's get started from the beginning. So first you want me to create a SQL database, correct?
No, no. First, let me tell you. Today we will start the migration stuff.
Mm-hmm,
So basically, Kamal, migration means uh, to move the database from
mm-hmm,
on premises to Azure.
correct.
How can we do it? How can we do it? Lots of the technology, lots of the methods Azure support,
Mm-hmm,
such as prior to start the migration, we must be aware what is the source and what is the destination. Okay, so what is the source? Source means our SQL Server on-premises environment, right? This
mm-hmm,
is the source. We want to migrate the data from the on-premises to
mm-hmm,
Azure. But if we think in a different way, the
mm-hmm,
source can be Oracle, it
mm-hmm,
can be Sybase, or it can be other flavor database.
mm.
Okay, that is also possible to migrate the data from the on-premises to the Azure SQL DB.
Okay.
Okay, now the third thing of the same way, the suppose that our database. Okay, I come on that thing. I come on that thing the later. So first of all, your source part is clear, na? The
Yeah.
target is Azure.
Yes.
Now the platform as a service, we have two type of the flavor under the Azure SQL DB and Azure MI and Azure VM. Okay, three things.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So definitely everyone has some restrictions, some limitations, some features limitations, right?
Okay. Okay.
So Azure SQL DB has something, the Azure managed instance have some more thing, and Azure SQL Server VM have some different thing. That's why the application or the customer use different things, right?
Okay.
As
Okay.
per their billing, as per their application features or the other things.
Mm-hmm,
So I tell you, Azure SQL DB, once we host the database on the Azure SQL DB, the
mm-hmm,
maximum size of the DB would be 4 TB,
mm-hmm,
4 TB terabyte. In case if your application is growing more than 4 TB, then what you will do? You will migrate the data from Azure SQL DB to managed instance, definitely, right? So
mm.
in that case, what would be your source? Source is Azure, destination is Azure. You got
Correct.
my
Correct.
point?
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
this is the concept of the source and destination. Now
Okay.
we come on the methods. What type of the things we can use to migrate the things?
Mm-hmm,
Okay. So about the methods, what are the things which we can use? The Microsoft provide lots of tools, such as first was the DMA tool, Data Migration Assistance,
mm.
DMA. The another one is the DMS, Data Migration Service.
Okay.
Okay. The third one is the SSMS. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
SSMS has also some capability to do the things.
Okay.
Okay. Fourth one is the SSMA, SQL Server Migration Assistant.
Oh, this is
Okay.
SME.
SSMA.
Mm-hmm,
So earlier peoples were using SSMA.
mm-hmm,
Sometimes, I mean, when Azure was not in picture, or I mean, peoples were aware very less. So during that time, when someone asked to migrate the SQL database to Oracle or Oracle to SQL Server, in that case, the peoples were using the SSMA. However, I don't have any practical exposure on the SSMA, but in
mm-hmm.
case of any rare situation, I can use it.
Okay. Mm.
Okay. So we will cover DMA, DMS, SSMS.
Okay.
Okay. Now the thing is, in what scenarios we will use the DMA, in what scenario we will use the DMS and SSMS.
Mm.
So the exact difference will clear when you will do the practical, when you will
Mm-hmm.
do the lab. So the automatically the things would be clear. Yeah, this thing is available in DMA, this thing is in the DMS.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now the major challenge is in the Azure permissions.
Mm-hmm.
After migration of the database,
Mm-hmm.
how you will manage the permissions.
Mm.
Okay, so in a
Okay.
real scenario or in the marketing point of view, company have divided the roles and responsibility to the different teams.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, permission stuff or all the permission related stuff the DBA will not manage. It would be managed by the different team or it would be managed by the customer, something like that. Right.
Correct.
In some cases, everything would be managed by the DBA. So it depends upon the project to project. So now suppose that we use the SSMS to migrate the database from the source to destination.
Mm-hmm.
We will get some issues, what type of the problem, what type of the things, and the what type of the method we will use. You will see. DMS is the different, and then DMA is the different.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in the earlier few minutes back, I told you any can be source and any can be destination,
Correct.
right? But in case of any can be destination would be little bit I mean I will change my word because destination if here our destination is only Azure.
Correct.
Okay, but in Azure any flavor,
Correct.
VM, SQL DB or the MI,
Correct.
right? Source can be any. So DMA support DMA use only SQL servers
Okay.
as a source.
DMA, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
DMS DMS use DMS use any source,
Any
any
flavor.
any flavor,
Yeah.
but the destination would be Azure.
Mm. So both the side, the destination is Azure. In within Azure, it can be SQL database, MI, or SQL Server on a
Right.
VM. Correct. Okay.
Yes. And
Mm.
the SSMS is purely related with the SQL Server,
Mm.
SQL to SQL.
Okay. So, okay, SQL to SQL means, okay. What is the difference between DMA and SSMS? They seems to be same, right? The
No.
source
The
and
difference between the difference between the DMA in SSMS,
mm-hmm,
DMA is used DMA. Okay. See, in the source server on-premises environment,
mm-hmm,
you have created the databases, you have created the jobs,
mm-hmm,
you have created the link server, triggers, stored procedures, or Windows login, SQL logins, lots of things,
mm-hmm.
right? So when you migrate this thing to from source to destination to Azure, so Azure does not support all the things which exist in the on-premises, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Let's take an example. Azure does not support the Windows user.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Only the AD users, which has been mapped in the AD directory, or the SQL authenticate user.
Yeah,
So
Azure Ready User.
Azure AD user or the SQL authenticate
Correct.
user.
Doesn't support the Windows based. Correct.
Right. So prior to start the migration, we must discuss with the application team, guys, your these features would be deprecated after the migration.
Okay.
You should do something at your end. These are the things, and these are the things we can do at our end. Okay,
Mm.
to modify some things. After that, we can start the migration. If you want to go blindly, we can do it. But these things will not support.
Okay.
So this is called assessment report.
Okay.
So DMA helps us to generate the assessment report prior to start the migration.
Okay.
Okay. The I hope the point is clear, na?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. Now the DMS. DMS concept. Okay. Prior to start the DMS, let's come back on the DMA. Okay. So when we create the database, so database means bank of data or the I mean in the database we insert the data, right?
Correct.
So, so before insert the data, we create schema. right? We
Mm.
want to manage the marks of 50 students. So we will create the table, roll number, name, father name, mother names, blah blah subjects, right? This is called the schema. Once the schema would be ready, then we insert the data, right?
Yeah,
So database has two parts, schema and data.
correct.
Now, okay, schema and data. So sometime you get a request. Sometime you get a request. Hey guys, just migrate only schema. Don't no need of the data. We will insert the data from the scratch.
Okay.
Sometime you get a request, migrate schema with data,
Mm.
right? Sometime you get a request, hey guys, just now migrate only schema. We want to see it is migrated successfully or not. After that, during the cutover, we will confirm you to migrate the data.
Okay.
Okay, so it depends upon situation to situation.
Mm.
So DMA provide all the options.
Okay.
Only schema, only data, or schema with data.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, but DMS, DMS provide schema and data. So the difference is you can't migrate data with schema in DMS. First, you need to migrate schema, then data. I will show you practically that part.
Mm. Okay. This supports schema and
This
doesn't support
support,
schema and data. It doesn't
yes,
support both at a time.
right, both at a time. It doesn't support both at a time.
Okay. Okay. But DMS support both at a time as well.
Right. We will do the lab
Mm.
of that.
Mm. Mm.
We'll do
Okay.
the lab.
Okay.
So this is the thing, major difference between the DMA and DMS. Our focus would be of these two things, DMA, DMS, and another point which we will use also the migration,
Mm.
AG copy. AG copy. How can we use the AG copy to
Mm.
move the backups, restoration like that? Because sometime, suppose that our DMA is not working.
Mm.
Okay, due to any reason, might be the port blocks, because in our lab we can disable the firewall. Okay, and then we can do the work. But in the live scenario, if we stuck somewhere, okay, if
Correct.
we stuck somewhere, then it will take a time to do the work. So we should know the alternate solutions of these things.
Okay. Mm.
We'll follow the AG copy also. So this is the fundamental of the migration. Okay,
Okay.
we'll cover first DMA.
Okay.
Okay, then DMS,
All right.
SSMS, and then AG copy will cover
Okay.
separately.
Sure.
Okay, so you can close this batch today, and then tomorrow onwards we will sit and then we'll start from the DMA.
Okay. Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that would be good. So I will also prepare some questions because you will ask and I would be happy to answer. So my skill set would be enhanced.
Yeah.